Hello, I'm Frank. I'm the creator of ELMixMasterPro. This is a video tutorial upon the features of ELMixMasterPro. This is part 3 in a series that will cover the label config. If you need help, a bug submission, or a feature request, please use the contact on the other page or the website. Before you can print a recipe label, you have to have a recipe page. ELMixMasterPro comes with Avery 8160. It's actually a 5130 or something like that, but it says use template 8160, so I just call this label 8160. If you can buy these at Walmart. If you can't get a hold of an 8160 or want a different one, you can create any label page that you want. I'm just going to edit this one. That's the same thing. Add your rows, your columns, top margin, distance between the top of the page and your first label, left margin, distance between the left of the page and the label, vertical gap, distance between the labels, horizontal gap, distance side to side of the labels. Label height, this is almost 1 inch. Label width, it's a little over 2.5 inches. Type in whatever description you want or leave it blank. Enter the name, the brand, and the label number. After you have a label page, you can go ahead and save your printer pages and labels. Come down here to print preview with border only. We're going to go in position 1. We'll zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. This is where that label would print if you printed it right now. So if it's looking good, you can go back over here. Actually, you can go ahead and print that if that's what you want to do. This button here will allow you to print it. After you get the hang of things and you're just tweaking your label just a little bit, you can edit it, save it, come back to these options, and you can just say print it. It won't go to the label config page. It'll just print it out, and you can take a peek at it and see if it's lined up properly. Before you submit a label to the website, please print out at least a whole page. I submitted this label to the server on the previous attempt of this video, so let's go ahead and browse labels real quick. Hopefully after this gets rolling and people start uploading labels, there'll be plenty of labels to choose from. You can view the ratings, just something I put in there just to have something in the text block. If this label was not a label that I had downloaded, you can see that it's local and it says yes. If I didn't have this on my computer, I could click the recipe and then click download. Since I already have it on my computer, I can't download it. After there are a whole lot of recipes, you'll be able to filter and sort and find labels that are just what you need. So now that you know how to create a label, edit a label, print the borders, browse online, there's also a feature called Restore Labels from Backup. Anytime you make a change to your labels, a backup will be created. So if you find out somewhere down the road that you've messed up and they're not printing for whatever reason, go back and load one of your backups and try printing from there. Most of the time it's just some setting. The only time I had it is I don't know, I made some change somewhere and didn't realize it, and the labels wouldn't print. So I loaded a backup, and sure enough, I went and did a little research, and then I put a 1 or something or another in here. But anyway, first thing you should do is reload a backup and see if it works. After you have your label page set up, you need to set up a printer label. Before we can do that, we have to create a label. So we're going to Peachy Melon, create label. Come back over here. We have our label, the default label. We're just going to edit it. This picture of a bunny is just here to show you a point. The very first image for a label is a full background. If you don't need a full background, you add a second image. In this case, it happens to be a bunny. You can adjust the location. The other fields, I have quite a few text blocks set up right now. Actually, this one just has 4. But let's go ahead and create a brand new label. New label. Now I've got to edit it. Let's go ahead and call this new label. It is of type recipe. You can create a flavor base or a flavor bottle. We're going to leave it on recipe. I'm going to add a text block. I'm going to call this title. My laptop is just a little laggy running this video recorder at the same time. I'm going to add some text. This is, I'm going to call it Mixmaster. It's something to have something somewhere. Change the width to 55, 250. And drop it from the top slightly. Make the height a little bit bigger. Increase the font size. We're going to change the font family. Comic Sans. Change the font color to something different. We're going to set the alignment of the text inside the text blocks to center. Don't leave the background color to transparent. Deselect it. Let me move this back at the top. So now we have a deselect it. Now we have a title on our label. So let's go ahead and add an image. We're just going to add the default label that comes with ELMixMasterPro. So now we have a start of a label here. So let's go ahead and add a mapping and add a new text block. Recipe name. We're going to drop it down just a little bit. It's not in the way. Increase the height. Do all the rest here in just a minute. Go down here and click on the Edit Text Template. Click on Add Data. We're going to map the recipe name from the recipe. Now we have a recipe name in our field. Let's go ahead and increase the size of this text block. To 50. Increase the font size. Change the font color. Change the alignment. Deselect it, see how it looks. We're a little high. I'm going to drop the top margin down just a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Deselect it, see what it looks like. Now that you've had a taste of the text template, we're going to add another text block. I'm going to call this all. This is just going to demonstrate one specific thing. We're going to drop the margin. No, let's just leave it right there. Well, the width. It's going to have to be wider. Not that wide. We'll go with this for right now. So I know this font's too big for what I want to do. I'm going to change it to 10. Go down here and click on Edit Text Template. And I want to, you could use the standard Nick milligram and VG%, but I want to show you one of the features. Whenever you add Nick milligram, it's just a 3. This recipe has 3 milligram Nick. So if I go down here and add VG%, it's just going to put them together. We're going to end up with 380. So we don't want just 380. So we're going to go back in here. We're going to add data. We're going to add a literal string. Right behind the 3, we need to add a milligram and a space. So now we need to move that right up behind the milligram. So now we have our VG%, which would be 80. So let's add data, literal string. We're going to add VG/. From here, we're going to add PG%. We're going to add data, literal string. We're going to add PG. We'll save it. Now we have a string that we can use. Let's go ahead and change the font color. Let's change the left margin. Now let's rotate it. 270. Drop the font size back down. Let's see what we've got. Set the block width a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and make the font just a little bit bigger. Let's zoom in on it so we can see what we've got. Move this over. I had to redo this video because I clipped that on the edge. So now let's deselect it so we can see what we have. 3 milligram, 80/20. And from here you can do whatever you want to it. You have 4 images that you can add, or you can add 9 text blocks. So let's go ahead and call this done. We have a basic label. Let's do a print preview. Zoom in on it a little bit. There's our label. Not much, but it's a starting point. From here, let's go ahead and reload last. So we have our label back. It reloads the label and the label position. Another feature of ELMixMasterPro is whenever you send labels across, they get printed with the first label of its type. So the first label of type recipe is the default label text. So in order to get this label to print with this new label, we either have to move this label up the list to the very top through these menu options right here, move label down or move label up, or you can lock the label. So now the label is locked to this recipe. So now you can preview it and print it. Actually print with that label. Some of the other features, you can delete it. I'll end up deleting this in a little bit. You can submit it to the web server. You can't yet. The code is still in progress. It will be completed at some point, but it is not ready yet. Let's go ahead and reload last. Click it. You can unlock it from that label so it'll print to the default label. You can delete it all of them if there happen to be more than one, or you can duplicate this label and you can make 2 or 3 labels or 30 labels, whatever you want to do. That covers the ELMixMasterPro LabelConfig tutorial. Check out part 4. Thank you.